stories that don't waste your time at WJBF.com.
Think you need a new roof? Think again. Save thousands with Roof Max.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 5, tackling the increase in violence in Burke County.
How the Sheriff's Office and Waynesboro Police are coming together to stop the violence as your News at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Beans.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us.
We do appreciate it. Coverage you can count on begins in Burke County, where there's been a recent increase in gang-related incidents.
Now the Burke County Sheriff's Office and the Waynesboro Police Department are teaming up to put an end to it. Kim Vickers reports.
Over the last week, the violence has ramped up in Burke County with the shooting death of one man and several retaliatory shootings, one that resulted in the injuries of 3 more people. Sheriff Alfonso Williams says enough is enough.
It was bad. Somebody took a rifle and pumped 30-plus rounds into an apartment where 4 people were contained in a room, and it looked like something from a war zone.
After the shooting on A Street Sunday night, the Sheriff's Office and the Waynesboro Police Department launched a campaign increasing patrol and warrants across the county, hoping to stop the violence before it happens.
It's just something we're just not going to tolerate. I mean, this is unacceptable. Yes, ma'am, and we're gonna stay on top. We're not gonna just lie down on it. We're not gonna lie down and take this lightly. And we want the person and persons involved in doing this to know that we are, and we will bring this to a head.
Both Sheriff Williams and Chief Burley say that it's a combination of a lack of parenting and irresponsible gun owners leaving firearms in unlocked vehicles who make it easy for these gangs to commit violent crimes.
These are kids who are left to their own guys, and kids who do not have the proper parental supervision.
Put these guns down. Just remember, a gun does not solve anything. A gun creates problems. It hurts family.
One Burke County woman who asked to remain anonymous tells me she and her children witnessed a drive-by shooting while standing in the dark at the bus stop in October. She says now her children are afraid to go to the school bus in the morning.
We kind of have to, because we get on the bus that early, but it's just, it's a terrifying feeling to not be safe out there anymore.
The woman became emotional when telling me how she's trying to restore a sense of safety in her children when she herself doesn't feel safe.
A lot of praying. A lot of praying's been happening in my house. It's okay. Take your time. A whole lot of praying.
Burke County law enforcement says the community can help by providing tips, adding that they can remain anonymous. Sheriff Williams says he is done with the violence in Burke County.
I'm not going to let him hurt and kill and shoot each other and act a fool, and I'm serious about stopping it.
Sheriff Williams says this campaign to end the violence will continue until they have it back under control. In Waynesboro, Kim Vickers, WJBF News Channel 6.
5 people are facing charges tonight after a 3-month-long investigation into a suspected drug trafficking organization. The suspects accused of distributing large amounts of fentanyl, meth, and marijuana throughout the CSRA. Investigators say they seized enough fentanyl to kill more than 500,000 adults.
One person is in jail in connection to the shooting of a 3-year-old in downtown Augusta over the weekend. Jermaine Dixon is charged with aggravated assault. The shooting happened early Sunday morning on 10th Street between Broad and Ellis. The little girl is expected to recover.
A compromise could be coming as Augusta commissioners continue to work on next year's budget. They're trying to overcome a $20 million shortfall, and there's been talk of raising taxes or cutting jobs within the city departments. But some commissioners say if they cut back on that tax increase, voters might go for it because the money's going to law enforcement.
There's others that have expressed an opinion that they could. And I think that's where we're headed, to where, if those dollars are allocated particularly towards either law enforcement or it eases the burden on reducing job cuts, I think there's potentially an agreement that can be reached.
City leaders are expected to make a second attempt to approve the 2026 budget at their meeting Tuesday.
A big to-do list for Augusta leaders when it comes to the next phase of the sales tax. Commissioners have to approve the final projects for SPLOST 9 in January for it to be on the ballot in May. But the list is growing. The fire department asking for an additional $23 million for fire station renovations. This would bring the department's total to $128 million.
And as it relates to some of our fire stations, our ask once again was for 3 fire stations to be rebuilt. Those stations average over 50 years in use, and so we're really looking and hoping that we have support to replace those.
The sheriff's office also asking for additional dollars to add bed space and make renovations at the jail. If commissioners approve both new requests, the total cost for the next SPLOST would be more than $470 million.
It is time now for our first check of the weather.
Here's our chief meteorologist, Jenna Petracci.
Well, I have a really cool view behind me of a hazy sunset here on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam over at the Amentum Center in Aiken. Look at this view. We do have cloud cover, and it's overall been a hazy, cloudy, and foggy day. And that's making our temperatures look much cooler than they were yesterday, especially over in Aiken and our South Carolina counties. A 12-degree temperature drop, so that's putting us already down to 63 degrees in Aiken. It was actually pretty cool over there today. But on the other side of the river, we had some warmer spots. Augusta's still at 71 and topped off in those mid-70s earlier this afternoon. 75 in Millen, 76 in Wrightsville, but upper 60s in Edgefield as well. So notice on satellite and radar, we're not tracking any rain, but we do have cloud cover, especially for the northern and eastern half of our viewing area, and pretty high dew points. So typically in November, we have very dry air in place with dew points in the 20s and 30s, but this is actually pretty humid, and that's what allowed that fog to form this morning. Winds are very light, only up to around 6 miles per hour, and for the rest of your evening, we are going to be mostly cloudy with the possibility of dense fog again tonight, dropping to 60 degrees by 9 p.m. So morning fog tomorrow, afternoon sunshine as we warm up to 81 degrees. It's going to be feeling like spring through Saturday, along with a chance of isolated storms. And I'll have a look at your futurecast for that coming up, so stay with us, but back to you.
All right, Jenna, thanks. Columbia County now, where leaders are still talking about zoning ordinances for future data centers. These include how the county will handle lighting, noise, water usage, and other environmental impacts. Chairman Doug Duncan says Georgia Power has signed off on the power consumption plan for the data center. This is the one they're trying to build near I-20 in Appling. He says the cost of setting up, building, and running it, it's all going to be covered by the end users, not the residents. However, many people out there still have questions about whether these new ordinances will apply to the proposed center in Appling or if it's just for ones in the future.
My understanding is there are a number of developers looking to develop projects in Columbia County that are data centers. Any future developments will be under that zoning ordinance. But also we've spoken to Trammell Crow and shared with them our desires to move that S1 to this zoning center just to protect the integrity of the region.
But Duncan says the project will boost revenue and bring substantial tax relief.
There is controversy in South Carolina about the COVID-19 vaccine. A bill could soon require, after moving from Medical Affairs Subcommittee to the full Medical Affairs Committee and back, lawmakers are now bringing the bill to the full committee again for further review.
Happening now, the annual Feast Before the Feast. Since 2008, hundreds of volunteers help cook and serve turkey, greens, and other Thanksgiving dishes, good desserts too down there. If you're looking for a good meal, the event just got underway. It'll run until 8 o'clock or until they run out of food. And there are 7 locations for it this year. Check the list on our website, WJBF.com.
There was a long line this morning at Good Shepherd Baptist Church in Augusta. Folks turning out for some holiday staples. 500 turkeys, 500 pounds of greens, and 500 bags of sweet potatoes were handed out for next week's feast. This is the 5th year Good Shepherd has held its turkey giveaway prior to Thanksgiving. It was in partnership with Mayor Garnett Johnson's annual sweet potato giveaway.
Be a member of a church that really gives back, and I feel strongly that as being the mayor, this is a time of year we help those that are less fortunate, especially at a critical time like this in our country, that we help others that so desperately need it, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Mayor Johnson will continue his sweet potato giveaway tomorrow at 5 at the Windsor Plaza Shopping Center in Hephzibah, and Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon at Ever Faithful Baptist Church on Sandbar Ferry Road.
Happening now, the quest for a state title for the Westminster Wildcats underway in Macon. They're facing Sherwood Christian Academy. They lost to Sherwood last year in the state title game. This is the Wildcats' third straight title appearance. News Channel 6's Gabriel Stovall is down at the game. He'll have more coming up at 6.
Project Refresh returns tomorrow. It's a monthly event that gives people access to free showers, clean clothing, hygiene products, and more. This time, holiday meals will be given away. It's from 9 a.m. until noon at May Park on 4th Street in Augusta. You can get a ride from Broad Street, Green Street, Ellis, or Fenwick starting at 8:30.
Coming up, lawmakers on Capitol Hill looking at a measure to give EpiPens to first responders.
We'll introduce you to the family who's inspiring this measure next.
Friday night.
Areas of morning fog tomorrow with unseasonably warm temperatures, but it won't last too much longer. I'll have more details when we return.
Weather headlines on WJBF News Channel 6. Brought to you by Southpaw Roofing. Roofing done right.
This message is for everyone.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. Here's a nice view on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam in Burke County. Mostly sunny, but definitely some clouds out in the distance. Still pretty hazy out there across the CSRA with temperatures in the low 70s, northeast breeze of 6 miles per hour. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, pretty high dew points in the upper 50s. Now, the temperatures are split. We are cooler over in our South Carolina counties. 68 in Edgefield, 63 in Aiken, Barnwell and Bamberg at 66. But a lot of us, especially over in Georgia, got into the 70s today. So not as warm as it was yesterday, but overall still under that ridge of high pressure here in the southeast. 80 in Tampa, close to it Tallahassee, and 82 in Montgomery, 83 in Houston. But we do have some of that cooler air up towards North Carolina. Now, that's where there's also drier air, dew points in the 40s there in Raleigh, but here in town, pretty high humidity, and that will lead to some patchy fog possible again tonight. We do have all the moisture around due to this stalled front, and there's a lot of rain entering the southeast as well. So by tomorrow evening, we could start to see some rain, but starting out our Friday with that poor visibility, it's possible that we could see dense fog again starting to develop around 11 o'clock tonight, especially over in our South Carolina counties. That's where visibility could be down to under around a quarter of a mile. So keep that in mind through around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we'll see some sunshine throughout the day. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy with temperatures climbing into the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm forecasting 80 degrees both Friday and Saturday in Augusta, which puts us just 2 degrees away from the record highest high temperature for those 2 days. So average high is 67, will be 13 degrees above that, and low temperatures are going to be well above average, especially on Saturday morning, starting out at 59, but definitely a cold start to Monday morning. So we'll have another big drop in temperatures coming our way. We also have an update to the drought monitor today, still seeing that severe level 3 drought in our southern line counties, so we could desperately use some rain. We're still at 0 inches for the entire month of November, and October was very dry as well. We'll have a 30% chance of some showers on Saturday, but it's not looking super promising for any widespread rain. So here's our future cast tonight at 8 p.m. You can see that front in the area. We're staying dry, just the cloud cover and fog overnight. Then as we go into Friday evening, a few isolated showers possible ahead of another system that's going to be moving in. So we'll see some isolated showers and storms as we go into Saturday morning, a few lingering ones into the afternoon. And then once that cold front clears, we'll have a cool down starting on Sunday. But here's a closer look tomorrow at 6 p.m. Notice a few isolated showers here and there, definitely mostly dry, so a great Friday for any outdoor plans. But then once we go into a Saturday morning, this is when we could see some of those weak storms, a little bit of coverage, but definitely nothing widespread, a few lingering storms as we go into the afternoon, but no need to cancel those outdoor plans for Saturday either, since it will still be mostly dry. Now looking ahead to Thanksgiving, another chance of rain, but just a 20%, going with a high of 66, so cooling down big time, a high of 59 for your Black Friday. So you can see we have that first cool down on Sunday as we go down to 72, 41 on Monday morning, but then a bigger cool down as we get towards the holiday next week. We're going to see a powerful cold front bringing those chances of rain and the cooler temperatures. Now, on this week's episode of the Partly Cloudy podcast, meteorologists Avery Gray and Miller Hyatt discuss several topics ranging from extreme CSRA weather events to Thanksgiving. Take a look.
Welcome back to the Partly Cloudy podcast. We're so glad that you're here and you've joined us once again for another episode. How was your experience covering Helene?
Nothing like I've ever experienced before. It just was surreal. It hit really overnight, which was the worst time. Unfortunately, for any storm, especially tornadoes, hurricanes, it had no power, no water in the city of Augusta.
Wow.
It was pretty much a deserted area, and it felt like a movie.
I mean, this was 1884, and whenever I had heard about this, I went back on Google, and was there even television in 1884? And the answer is no. So then that makes you think about who were the meteorologists at the time. Did they even know what a tornado was?
I love stuffing, or people say dressing. It's just a big debate. I call it stuffing because I just thought you stuck that in a bird.
Right.
And then that's after you put it in the deep fry and you fry it, the puppy up.
To watch the full episode, tune in to WJBF 6 Plus on your streaming device tomorrow at 8 a.m., 6:30 p.m., or 9:30 p.m.
Coming up, imagine a home edition like this where you live.
Up next, find out what's behind this 3-story add-on that just towers over a neighborhood.
At Lionel Smith Limited, we can help use clothing.
A homeowner up in Fairfax County, Virginia, causing quite the stir after adding one to their house. Look at that. It's an addition, a 3-story rectangle that's getting a lot of attention because of its odd shape and because it's so close to other people's homes. Really making it the easiest game. One of these things is not like the other. It stands out, doesn't it?
It really does. Is it just going to be part of the house?
I don't know. It looks like it could be maybe a dormitory type addition where many people could stay there.
I think firehouse, that would be odd.
Oh, yeah.
Jay, you can just see, a pole to go down those 3 flights.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not pretty. But maybe it will be when they're finished.
Think so.
And trim. That is it for us for this half hour. There's a lot more coming up on News Channel 6 at 5:30.
There cannot be an HOA here.
Cannot be.
Including a funeral service for Vice President Dick Cheney taking place today at the National Cathedral. A look at how leaders pay tribute to him next.
A bad accident ruins your car. Calling.
Visit cnscares.com.
Remember those in need this holiday season with the Giving Your Best Toy Drive. Your donated toys will benefit local CSRA nonprofits. Just drop off your new unwrapped toy at News Channel 6. And we thank you for giving your best this holiday season. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5:30.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with your local headlines. Jermaine Dixon is charged with aggravated assault in connection to the shooting of a 3-year-old in downtown Augusta over the weekend. It happened early Sunday morning on 10th Street between Broad and Ellis. The little girl is expected to recover.
Augusta commissioners trying to figure out how to make up a $20 million shortfall in next year's budget. The sheriff's office wants $11 million extra dollars next year. There's been talk of a 30% tax increase. Commissioners don't like that. They'd rather cut it back and get folks behind this budget because so much is going to law enforcement.
Tonight, the Braswell Manigault Foundation and the Augusta Parks and Rec is hosting its annual Feast Before the Feast event. Since 2008, volunteers have helped cook and serve Thanksgiving dishes. The event starts at 5 o'clock. Well, it started half an hour ago, I should say. It goes on until 8 o'clock or until they run out of food. 7 locations. We've got the full list on our website, WJBF.com.
Well, Congress and President Trump did their part. Now, first check of the weather.
Chief Meteorologist Jenna Petracci is here with us now. And Jenna, we're going to have warmth for a little longer.
Yeah, warmth and a beautiful sunset right now, Jenny. I mean, it's
So
looking
nice.
great out there, and that's a real treat for Aiken because they've been dealing with this pesky fog even into the afternoon and some pretty dense cloud cover. So at least we have a beautiful sunset thanks to those clouds. This is our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam. It is much cooler than yesterday, especially over in Aiken County. A 12-degree drop in our temperatures, 7 degrees cooler in Augusta. So yesterday we made it into the low 80s, and today we only made it to the mid-70s in some spots. But Aiken only topped off in the mid-60s. We're now down to 62, 71 in Augusta, 77 in Wrightsville, and 66 in Edgefield. You can see no rain here on satellite and radar, but definitely some cloud cover, and it will continue to stay mostly cloudy tonight. We'll also have the possibility of more fog overnight thanks to this high humidity. Dew points are in the upper 50s to low 60s. Definitely pretty high for this time of the year when it's usually really dry outside. But winds are coming out of the south at 6 miles per hour, and for the rest of our evening, we'll see temperatures getting down to 60 degrees by 9 p.m. and then warming up to the 80s starting on Friday. I'll have more details with a look at our rain chance Saturday coming up. And back to you.
Jenna, thanks. New information today about that UPS plane crash in Kentucky earlier this month.
Coming up, an owl went through a horrifying experience when it got stuck in concrete. Find out how it was saved and how it's doing now.
We're going to have that story for you in What's Trending.
And we have warm temperatures sticking around into the start of the weekend, along with a chance of rain and storms, followed by a huge cool down next week. I'll have all the details after What's Trending.
Tonight, releasing all the Jeffrey Epstein files, survivors, and the our beautiful showroom in North Augusta. We want to see you in a Stokes Hodges Kia. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. Fly direct to Washington, D.C. from Augusta Regional Airport.
Welcome back, everybody. Time to take a look at what's trending, and we're finding out more today about a growing dispute over the estate of Michael Jackson.
His daughter now renewing her fight. This morning, Michael Jackson's daughter is suing the handlers of her father's multi-billion-dollar estate. The court document showing that Paris Jackson is accusing John Branca and John McClain of abusing their roles as executors of the estate. Jackson claims the two men paid themselves nearly $150 million over the course of 12 years. The executors say the estate was $500 million in debt when Jackson died and claim they grew it to $2 billion with investments in multiple projects, including the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic. Well, who knows what trouble owls can get into in the dark of the night.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get into the kind of trouble that only their human friends can help them out of.
This is one of those stories that starts off scary, but thank goodness the owl is doing okay. But notice how much care it took to get there, as Danny New tells us.
A cleaning session that has become routine. Give it a little brush. For an owl who went through something this rehabilitation center has not seen in its 40-year history.
The owl came to us through a phone call from the Department of Wildlife Resources, who picked up the owl from someone who found it in a concrete mixer at a construction site.
Yes, in late October, Bart and his colleagues at Utah's Best Friends Animal Sanctuary received a call about a great horned owl found in a concrete mixer. 25% of his 2-pound body, including his face, chest, and right wing, were all caked in dried concrete.
We initially started by taking hemostats and forceps and crushing the bigger pieces of concrete very gently, and then using our fingertips to crumble away the smaller pieces.
After each 20-minute cleaning, Bart says his team would bathe the owl in dish soap and water and then dry him thoroughly. Bart says they called other wildlife rehabilitators for advice, and they too had not experienced anything like this. However, their care plan does seem to be working.
So the long-term prognosis for this guy looks really good. We do need to wait until he molts and gets in healthier feathers so he can fly silently.
And Bart says this image is a really good sign, as he was just moved recently to this outside area and was able to make his way up onto this 6-foot perch. So his new wings are expected to come in late spring or summer, and then they plan to release him back near where they found him, but obviously not too close to that construction site. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
And that's it for What's Trending.
Coming up after this break, our chief meteorologist Jenna Petracci with a look at the forecast for the rest of this work week and into your weekend. Stay with us.
I was hit by a drunk driver. I wanted to...
Children First on WJBF News Channel 6 is sponsored by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live 5/6.
Welcome back. Another stunning sunset right outside the station on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam. It's looking really nice outside despite the cloud cover and the foggy start we had to the day. We're sitting at a comfortable 71 degrees with a northeast wind of 6 miles per hour. Dew points high in the upper 50s and visibility down to 9 miles, but not too bad at this time. We have an interesting setup here across the southeast. High pressure is still down near Florida. That's bringing us the warm temperatures, but we also have this front right across Columbia, and that's bringing us some cooler temperatures to the north of it, warmer temperatures towards the south. And then we have these showers all across the Tennessee Valley down towards Texas, some storms even. This cold front over here will be making its way into our direction tomorrow, bringing a slight chance of rain as we go into the weekend. But in the meantime, notice it's cooler across the river in our South Carolina counties by a whole 10 degrees. So 71 in Augusta, but 61 in Aiken. A lot of us got into the mid-70s today, but some of us struggled to even hit 60. You can see those upper 50s now in Raleigh, so definitely some cooler air behind that warm front, but then all of this warm air still sticking around the majority of the southeast. And we have some really high dew points as well. So a lot of times in November and throughout the fall, we have really low humidity, but that's not the case today. With all this moisture around, that's going to allow for some patchy fog to develop again tomorrow morning. You can see that dense fog, especially creeping into our South Carolina county, starting at 11 p.m., really peaking around 4 o'clock in the morning, and then lasting all the way until around 8 a.m. So just leave with plenty of time tomorrow. Be slow out on the roads. It's not going to be super cold, though. We're starting out at 56 degrees, and then we're climbing into the upper 70s. So we're challenging some records as we go into the next couple of days. 80 will be our high Friday and Saturday. Record highs are at 82, so we'll be pretty close to that. And then we really need some rain. Notice the drought monitor updated today, but really showing the same thing, that severe level 3 drought in our southern lying counties. Rain chances are finally back on the board, but it's not looking like we'll have a washout for any of these days. A few showers possible Saturday and next Tuesday. Highest chance of rain will be Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. Here's our futurecast for tonight at 8 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies with that fog developing, but staying dry through Friday morning. There's 8 a.m. Then once we get to Friday evening, a few isolated showers could start to move into the CSRA, and then more coverage overnight into Saturday morning. But most of the heavy activity staying to our north. This cold front will make its way into our area Saturday afternoon, bringing a few more storms, but then we're clear and drying out by Saturday night with a cool down on Sunday. Here's a closer look tomorrow at 6 p.m. Really staying dry for the most part, so no need to cancel any outdoor plans. Just keep an eye on radar on Saturday. You may wake up to the sound of thunder overnight and early in the morning, and then notice by lunchtime a few straggler storms still moving into the area, but definitely not a lot of coverage here and no threat of severe weather. Now for Thanksgiving, we're starting to cool down. Highs back into the middle 60s, just a 20% chance of rain, and then you'll really notice that colder air on Black Friday, 39, and then only topping off at 59 Friday afternoon. So even though it's nice and warm now, don't let it deceive you. We are going back to that fall-like weather as we go into the holiday. 66 once again on Thanksgiving, but in the meantime, we will be at 80 both Friday and Saturday.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Up next, we are going to find out why a dog is so excited to be visiting a fire department in Florida.
Your number one news at 5:30 continues after the break.
At Honda Cars of Aiken, we're on the line for 9999999. Children First on WJBF News Channel 6 is sponsored by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Now, your most most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back. Another stunning sunset right outside the station on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam. It's looking really nice outside despite the cloud cover and the foggy start we had to the day. We're sitting at a comfortable 71 degrees with a northeast wind of 6 miles per hour. Dew points high in the upper 50s and visibility down to 9 miles, but not too bad at this time. We have an interesting setup here across the southeast. High pressure is still down near Florida. That's bringing us the warm temperatures, but we also have this front right across Columbia, and that's bringing us some cooler temperatures to the north of it, warmer temperatures towards the south. And then we have these showers all across the Tennessee Valley down towards Texas, some storms even. This cold front over here will be making its way into our direction tomorrow, bringing a slight chance of rain as we go into the weekend. But in the meantime, notice it's cooler across the river in our South Carolina counties by a whole 10 degrees. So 71 in Augusta, but 61 in Aiken. A lot of us got into the mid-70s today, but some of us struggled to even hit 60. You can see those upper 50s now in Raleigh, so definitely some cooler air behind that warm front, but then all of this warm air still sticking around the majority of the southeast. And we have some really high dew points as well. So a lot of times in November and all throughout the fall, we have really low humidity, but that's not the case today. With all this moisture around, that's going to allow for some patchy fog to develop again tomorrow morning. You can see that dense fog, especially creeping into our South Carolina county, starting at 11 p.m., really peaking around 4 o'clock in the morning, and then lasting all the way until around 8 a.m. So just leave with plenty of time tomorrow. Be slow out on the roads. It's not going to be super cold, though. We're starting out at 56 degrees, and then we're climbing into the upper 70s. So we're challenging some records as we go into the next couple of days. 80 will be our high Friday and Saturday. Record highs are at 82, so we'll be pretty close to that. And then we really need some rain. Notice the drought monitor updated today, but really showing the same thing, that severe level 3 drought in our southern lying counties. Rain chances are finally back on the board, but it's not looking like we'll have a washout for any of these days. A few showers possible Saturday and next Tuesday. Highest chance of rain will be Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. Here's our futurecast for tonight at 8 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies with that fog developing, but staying dry through Friday morning. There's 8 a.m. Then once we get to Friday evening, a few isolated showers could start to move into the CSRA, and then more coverage overnight into Saturday morning. But most of the heavy activity staying to our north. This cold front will make its way into our area Saturday afternoon, bringing a few more storms, but then we're clear and drying out by Saturday night with a cool down on Sunday. Here's a closer look tomorrow at 6 p.m. Really staying dry for the most part, so no need to cancel any outdoor plans. Just keep an eye on radar on Saturday. You may wake up to the sound of thunder overnight and early in the morning, and then notice by lunchtime a few straggler storms still moving into the area, but definitely not a lot of coverage here and no threat of severe weather. Now for Thanksgiving, we're starting to cool down. Highs back into the middle 60s, just a 20% chance of rain, and then you'll really notice that colder air on Black Friday, 39, and then only topping off at 59 Friday afternoon. So even though it's nice and warm now, don't let it deceive you. We are going back to that fall-like weather as we go into the holiday. 66 once again on Thanksgiving, but in the meantime, we will be at 80 both Friday and Saturday.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Up next, we are going to find out why a dog is so excited to be visiting a fire department in Florida.
Your number one news at 5:30 continues after the break.
At Honda Cars of Aiken,
F0026. Hi, Roddy Flair here with Queen City Home Store. Don't miss our Blockbuster Black Friday sale going on now with appliances up to 50% off. Family size refrigerators start at just $4.78 and Whirlpool fridge door models at only $13.98. Topwood laundry pairs start at just $6.98. Plus, get free delivery and installation on select items. With 12 months interest-free financing and express delivery, nobody gets it to you faster. Visit your nearest Queen City Home Store location or find us at QueenCityOnline.com.
News Nation Tuesday. What if everything we thought we knew about cancer?
Are you feeling the pains of a bad 18-wheeler wreck? I've got this. I'm Attorney Ken Nugent. I've got a top-notch group of lawyers who stand firm against an insurance company's greedy ways. We'll do it the easy way or the hard way, but we won't stop until they pay you the maximum settlement you deserve. One call, that's all.
CallKen.com.
Bye-bye now. That's right. Run to mommy.
6 weather team is coverage you can count on for the entire CSRA.
Firefighters in Florida were reunited with Bandit, a dog that they say they saved from a house fire earlier this month. When they responded to that house, the owners weren't there, but Bandit was trapped inside. The firefighters acted quickly, and fortunately, they were able to get him out of the house safely.
Sweet Bandit. He looks so happy, too.
And happy to see them.
Look at that tail. Get him, Bandit.
That's it for this half hour, but we have more coverage you can count on coming up.
Including Augusta leaders trying to hammer out that budget. Will they get it done without making our taxes go sky high? News Channel 6 at 6 is next.
On WJBF News Channel 6, brought to you by Southpaw Roofing. Roofing done right.
It's time to update that old tub with Bath Fitter.